test your jumping skills. Press the B button to jump.
Oh, sweet mother of holy hamster someone please just kill me. This is Quest for Zoo for the Nintendo DS.
The hamster tube will take you on a wild ride. Stand in front of it, then press the A button to enter.
A part of me wants to just say, hey, listen, there's running and jumping, and there's collecting stuff. This can't be that bad. I mean, some of my favorite games ever made involve those very same gameplay mechanics. It's got the same basic gameplay as a Super Mario Brothers or a Yoshi's Island, so this game has to be enjoyable in some capacity, if even the most minuscule and microscopic capacity. And I suppose if you're 10 years old and you like the ZHU pets, it probably is. Please understand, however, that if you're approaching 30, as I am, and you harbor a general distaste for most things created after the 1960s, man, this is torture. This is functionally speaking not a terrible game, but on a physiological level, I'm having a really hard time handling this. Unfortunately, this is not a game for me, and if you're old enough to be on YouTube, it's probably not for you either. That is, unless you have terrible parents, and if that's the case, they probably wouldn't buy you a video game anyway. So not only are you on websites you're too young for, you're also wasting your time. But for you parents, considering this for your kids, you have to ask yourself some important questions. One, does your kid like the ZHU pets? Because if not, forget this thing even exists. If they do, let's move on. Two, does your kid like to play platform games? You know, those are, games in which you walk and jump from left to right, because if so, buy them new Super Mario Brothers or Kirby Canvas Curse or Sonic Rush. They'll love you for it, and you'll also be the hip parent. You want to be the hip parent, don't you? Because if so, 3, buying this game makes you decidedly unhip. The problem with a game like Quest for Zoo is that it tries so hard to be nothing more than palatable that it ends up having no taste whatsoever. That is to say, this game has much more invested in being easy, playable, and inoffensive for everyone than being fun for anyone. It's like it's on autopilot and your kid is just pushing buttons. If they're old enough to play video games, they're probably too old for this. Nonetheless, you play as 4 hamsters. I'm assuming these are the ZHU pets. A reminder that the H is as silent as I was after playing this game. You choose whichever hamster you want, and you play through the level, running and jumping from the left to the right and collecting all kinds of coins along the way. Unfortunately, there's no flagpole or bricks along the way. There's just boring level design and derivative gameplay. Each character has its own special ability, and if you want to collect everything in a given level, you have to play through each level with each character. This, of course, as opposed to having one character who does all these things, but then you couldn't artificially extend the replay value, and that would be a disaster, because then you'd need more levels, and it seems to me that the team was already stretching things pretty thin. Quest for ZHU actually isn't a terrible game. It's just so boring and dull, I can't even imagine its target audience finding it appealing. There are just way too many fantastic platformers on the Nintendo DS to waste your time with one that's so stinky.